You step out of the heavy, armor-plated door. The air hits you first, then the flashbulbs, then the deafening roar of 10,000 people screaming your name. But you aren't looking at the signs. You aren't looking at the smiles. Your eyes are tracing the geometry of murder. You are calculating the angle of deflection from a third-story window. You are analyzing the micro-expressions of a woman pressing against a steel barricade. You are silently rehearsing the exact driving route to the nearest Level 1 trauma center, down to the second. You aren't the President of the United States. You are the invisible, breathing wall keeping him alive. You are the absolute apex of power, secrecy, and protection. Today, we are bringing you inside the system. You are about to see the world not as a citizen, but as a target. You are going to witness the staggering, obsessive lengths to which a modern empire goes to ensure its leader survives a world that wants them dead.
To understand how world leaders stay alive, you have to throw away everything you think you know about bodyguards. A bullet is loud. A bullet is obvious. But what about the water? What about the air? Welcome to biological protection. When the president travels, he does not eat the local cuisine. That 5-star banquet he's attending in Paris or Tokyo, it's a stage play. You are an agent assigned to the logistics detail. Days before the trip, Navy stewards purchase raw ingredients from undisclosed local supermarkets at random. They do not wear uniforms, they pay in cash. The food is brought back to a secure, sterilized kitchen where it is prepared under the watchful eye of the Secret Service.
The meals are transported in locked, tamper-proof coolers. Even the drinking water is flown in on Air Force cargo planes. If a foreign host offers a toast, the president's glass was poured by an agent from a bottle they brought from Washington. But you don't just protect what goes into his body. You prepare for what happens if his body is broken. You are a doctor in the White House Medical Unit, the WHMU. When the president travels, you bring a shadow hospital. You carry a mobile operating room capable of performing emergency trauma surgery in a hotel room. And in the trunk of the presidential limousine, you keep heavily guarded, temperature-controlled bags of the president's exact blood type. If an assassin's bullet finds its mark, you don't wait for a local hospital to find a donor. You bring the blood to the battlefield. With the biology secured, you move to the physical realm. Welcome to the advance. Weeks before the president arrives, you do not just occupy a city. You conquer it, from the sky down to the sewers. You are on the subterranean detail. Assassins don't just strike from rooftops, they strike from below. You wade through the city's sewage lines and utility tunnels directly beneath the venue. You map every pipe, sweep for explosive devices, and install motion detectors in the dark. When you climb back to the surface, you have municipal workers weld the heavy iron manhole covers shut along the entire 15-mile motorcade route. Above ground, you deploy the Counter-Surveillance Unit, the CSU. You don't wear a suit, you don't wear a badge. You look like a tourist. You look like a homeless man. You look like a vendor. Your job is not to watch the president. Your job is to hunt the hunters. You are looking for the person who has been standing on the same street corner for 3 days, taking photos of security cameras. You are looking for the dry runs, the organized criminal or terrorist cells testing the perimeter, checking how quickly uniformed police respond to a decoy disturbance. You blend into the background, a ghost hunting ghosts, eliminating the threat before the Secret Service detail even lands in the city. Eventually, the president has to travel, and the moment the president is in transit, the vulnerability multiplies by 1,000. Welcome to Air Superiority. You are a pilot for the Presidential Airlift Group. Air Force One is not just a plane, it is a flying, nuclear-hardened bunker. The skin of the aircraft is heavily shielded to survive the electromagnetic pulse of a nuclear detonation. In the tail, directional infrared countermeasures, lasers, automatically track and blind incoming heat-seeking missiles. But even with the ultimate fortress, you rely on the ultimate deception, the shell game. Air Force One rarely flies alone. It is often accompanied by a backup plane. Nowhere is this shell game more intense than in the helicopters. You are flying Marine One, but there is never just one. As soon as you lift off from the South Lawn, you and up to 4 identical decoys begin a high-speed, synchronized ballet. You constantly swap positions in midair, weaving over the city. A terrorist on the ground with a surface-to-air missile has only seconds to acquire a target. Your dizzying aerial shell game ensures they never know which helicopter holds the most powerful person on Earth.
And high above it all, hiding in the stratosphere, is the Doomsday plane, the E-4B Night Watch, a flying command center that trails Air Force One across the globe. If the worst happens, if a catastrophic attack hits the homeland, this is where the president runs to command a global war from the sky. But the sky is controlled. The ground is chaos. Welcome to the Motorcade. You are behind the wheel. The Motorcade is a high-speed, heavily armed kinetic weapon. At the center is the Beast, a 15,000-pound custom Cadillac that is more tank than car. It has 8-inch thick armor plating. The undercarriage is reinforced with a steel plate to withstand roadside bombs. The cabin is hermetically sealed. It features tear gas cannons, oil slicks, and encrypted communications. But the Beast is just the bait.
Ahead of the Beast is the electronic countermeasures vehicle, the Watchtower. You are inside, operating military-grade jammers. You are actively suffocating the electromagnetic spectrum around the convoy, creating a rolling dead zone that disables remote-controlled IEDs and drops hostile drones out of the sky. Directly behind the Beast is Halfback, the primary support vehicle carrying the closest protective detail. But right behind them, the heavy hitters, Hawkeye, the counter-assault team, CAT. You are a CAT operator. You wear heavy tactical armor. You carry fully automatic weapons. If the motorcade is ambushed, the Secret Service detail will grab the president and run. Your job? You do not run. You open the doors, step into the kill zone, and unleash a terrifying, overwhelming wall of suppressive fire. You bring hell to the attackers, buying the Beast the 3 seconds it needs to escape. And somewhere in the middle of this armored snake, a nondescript vehicle carrying a military aid. In their hand, handcuffed to their wrist, is a heavy leather satchel, the nuclear football. No matter where the president goes, the launch codes for the apocalypse ride with him.
Eventually, the armor has to open. The president has to walk out into the open air. Welcome to the inner perimeter. Welcome to the diamond. This is where you live. You are on the close protection body detail. You are the shift leader, positioned directly behind the principal's right shoulder. You dictate the pace. Your team of 4 creates a physical, moving cage. You have 360-degree overlapping fields of vision. You do not listen to the speeches. You do not look at the signs. You look at the hands. Hands hold weapons. Hands kill.
The psychological toll of this hypervigilance is agonizing. You rotate out every 20 minutes because the human brain simply cannot process that level of threat detection without burning out. When the president works a rope line, your hand is gripped firmly on his belt. Your muscles are coiled like a hydraulic spring. If a balloon pops, the crowd gasps. They freeze. You do not. If you find yourself on the X, the military term for the center of an ambush, your training violently overrides your fundamental human instinct to survive.
Cover and evacuate. You do not draw your weapon to fight back. You become the armor. You tackle the principal to the concrete, expanding your physical footprint as wide as possible to absorb the shrapnel, to catch the bullet meant for them. It is the ultimate, terrifying sacrifice, drilled into your muscle memory until it is as involuntary as a heartbeat. You are the final breathing layer in a system built entirely on power, secrecy, and protection. Protection is only useful if extraction works. Watch how the Secret Service moves a president in seconds.